More drama and more violence in the streets of Tehran today over the past 5 hours as thousands of people came out to Tehran's main cemetery to mourn 26-year-old Neda Agha Sultan and several other people who were killed during the June 20th protest 8 days after the disputed vote. And there you see some of the first pieces of video coming into the Iran desk. Of course, the opposition had asked permission from the Iranian government to mourn Neda Agha Sultan and those killed on June 20th. They were denied by the government of holding a commemoration ceremony. They defied that ban and they showed up to Neda Agha Sultan's gravesite anyway, and that's where they were met by security forces. Sources and eyewitnesses telling CNN that security forces fired their guns in the air, used tear gas, and at least 10 times we heard from sources that they beat up on protesters, and they managed to disperse them from the gravesite, from Be'esht Zahra. Now we're getting reports from eyewitnesses that protesters are moving north to neighborhoods in downtown Tehran, where once again security forces are trying to keep them from protesting. But 5 hours after this started, 3:30 p.m. local time, five hours later, sources telling CNN that pockets of protests still taking place in downtown Tehran, Aisha.
Reza, I understand that Mir Hossein Mousavi turned up at this memorial at the gravesite, but he was forced to leave. Explain to us what happened.
Yeah, indeed he was. And this is rare that one of the opposition leaders, the biggest name in the opposition, Mir Hossein Mousavi, makes a public appearance along with his supporters. He showed up, and there you see some video of an SUV that apparently has him inside. According to his Facebook page, he arrived there in this SUV along with his wife. He wasn't able to get out, but sources telling CNN that his wife, Zahra Rahnavard, was briefly able to get out. So keep in mind, this is a day after the government, the leadership, the Interior Ministry told him and other opposition leaders that you're not allowed to hold any ceremony commemorating Neda Agha Sultan and those killed. So there you see Mir Hossein Mousavi making a bold move, a defiant move against the government's ruling.
Indeed, Reza, and that brings me on to my next question. I mean, what does it tell us about the state of the protest movement that Mousavi should turn up and that all these other people should make that journey to that gravesite?
Aisha, it tells us that this opposition movement is alive and well and in fact gaining momentum. And it also tells us, according to the events of the past few days, that never in the 30 years of the Islamic Republic has the leadership been this fractured and in this type of disarray. And if you compare the two sides, if you compare Iran's leadership to the opposition seems to be more united, more cohesive. I mean, you had Mehdi Karoubi and Mir Hossein Mousavi showing up to this gathering today. And at the same time, you have what appears to be fractures within Iran's leadership, specifically fractures and divisions between the supreme leader himself and Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the president, after he appointed that vice president, the controversial VP pick, the supreme leader demanding him to resign. So the two sides apparently at this point going in different directions, and the opposition movement still with momentum based on what we saw today.